Hello, brothers and sisters in Christ and people of YouTube. I remember when I was having dealings with a narcissist and she was getting arrogant and prideful. She just used to love herself, and like I've told people, she was like a 7 out of 10 with makeup on, a 5 without it. And when we first started dating, she was so prideful of her looks, and she thought everyone wants me. And I'm not saying this to be mean, but she was overweight. She had a kid, and we all know what that does to the body. And I never used to say anything because I was more interested in the heart posture. If someone was a good person. And she said something smart to me one day about how, it's a privilege for me to be going out with a Vietnamese woman, and I'm obviously she's obviously my first Vietnamese girlfriend, and I just didn't understand how they were and blah blah blah. And then I remember I never told her this because I never told her really important things about myself, because a few things I told her in confidence, she ran and told everyone else, and it became the town gossip, which I think when you're in a marriage you need to keep your business with your partner and vice versa, otherwise they're not loyal to you. And anyway, what I hadn't told her is I'd actually had a Vietnamese girlfriend that was the love of my life 12 years ago. I met at this little shop called Chicken Spot. Now, Chicken Spot was a shop that I used to go to from about the age of about 10 or 11 till I was in my 30s. This was like Chicken Treat or Red Rooster, but it was Vietnamese run and owned. And I'd always liked this girl that was behind the counter. She's only about 4 foot nothing. And I was going to the gym every day. I was full of myself, full of pride. I was like, I'm the best, blah blah blah. Sort of like how the narcissist is with me now, so maybe it's some karma on me. So yeah, I had this really stressful job where I was working maybe 6 days a week, and it was supposed to be 40 or 50 hours a week, but it'd normally end up being 25 hours a week for me because I was on salary. But I was in charge of gassing and ripening and making sure that avocados and bananas were at the right stage of growth at the markets. And I had to take care of I think it was 16,000 cartons of bananas a week and 10,000 avocados a week. And I had to do all the picking, packing, driving of the forklift, unloading of the trucks, and all the work by myself. And there used to be a team of 3 people that used to do it. And the only thing I had to rely on this guy they called Fat Man. And he had to print the stickers out for me. And he was a real nasty man that if you upset him at all, he would just not print the stickers out for you. So I went to the guy that was under him. And he's like, oh yeah, I taught him everything, so I know how to do that. So I'd get him off him. And then he'd get really pissed off at me and just make my life harder. And I had this boss that was on steroids called Knobs. And he was a knob. He was the biggest knob I'd ever met. I used to play a lot of 40k, and I used to think he was just a big orc knob or a war boss. He was a scary guy to deal with. He was really short, but he's massive. And I just used to tell him to shut up all the time because I was doing heaps of work for him, and they used to complain about me because I'd get all my work done in 25 hours and go home. And anyway, because I had spare time on my hands, I'd keep going to Chicken Spot every now and again, check up on this girl. And one day I've just come out and said it to her, and I was like, I'm really interested in you. Just wondering if you've got a boyfriend. And she's like, no, sorry, I got a boyfriend. And I was like, oh, that's a shame. The good ones are always taken. And I walked off. I didn't think much about it. And then maybe 2 months later, I've gone in there and, you know, I've just been hanging out with the boss too much. Like, he keeps inviting me to go to things I didn't really want to go to. So we'd be having pints at the pub after work, and I was hanging out with another guy that sometimes he'd bring a spliff, and we'd have a bit of weed after work, and I was doing things that were not good for me and I wasn't really interested in. But I've come in and I'm overweight now. Like, I was about 5 or 10 kilos heavier than when I first saw her, and I looked terrible because I'd been hungover the night before. I'd had heaps to drink, and I've come in a chicken spot, and then she's like, "Oh, hi, I'm just interested if you still want to go out." And I was like, "What?" And yeah, from there, like, I was madly in love with this girl. Like, sadly, we only ended up going out for 6 months because she was the best girlfriend. Like, I introduced her to my mum, and my mum hates every girl that I met, and not with this girl. She was like, she's the real deal. She's like, she's my daughter-in-law. You got to protect that one. And I'd never heard mum say that about a girl, so I was like, wow, I'm amazed, you know. And the funniest thing was, mum used to have this recipe of pumpkin scones, and mum used to guard her recipes like nobody would ever know how to cook anything she'd made, sort of thing. She'd guard them with her life. And the funny thing was, my girlfriend then, Alice, she just kept getting close to my mum and saying, "Look, your son really wants the pumpkin scones, and you know, I don't know what to do." And my mum gave her the recipe, and she's never done that with anyone else before, eh? And yeah, but this girl was the most beautiful person, but we had trouble because I wanted to go on holiday because this boss, he was just stressing me out, working 6 days a week for him. Sometimes he'd call me on the work phone and just be cussing me out because an alarm had gone off at the markets, and even though I only worked 25 hours, sometimes I'd have to go back and check everything was running efficiently. And I even said to him one day, "Look, I'm out with my mum, this is my day off, and you're offending me, piss off." And he wouldn't talk to me again after that. Like, he had to get the avocado salesman to ring me up and get him to talk to me after that, and he was like the big boss. Yeah, so yeah, but this girl was the sweetest Vietnamese girl I've ever met. Like, she was actually from Ho Chi Minh City or Saigon, and she came out as a young girl, and so she was really good with English. She was really smart, and the best thing about her was she wouldn't speak Vietnamese in front of all her friends and show off to people. She'd just be interested in my company, and I was like, if we went out somewhere with me, her and her sister was a doctor. Yeah, so between her and her sister, they were lovely people, they would not speak Vietnamese in front of me. They would, even if they had family members with them, only if their parents, especially their dad, was there, they would speak Vietnamese, because he would say the opposite. He's like, "We only speak Vietnamese in this house." And with the steroid I had at work, my boss, he was stressing me out all the time, and my girlfriend Alice, she wouldn't let me go on holiday because she was actually studying at the time as well as working full time at the chicken spot, and she'd have to go and get all the food for her brother's shop too. Like, we'd go on weekends, and it's quite funny. But yeah, so she was stressed out, and she made me wait an extra 4 months to take holidays. So by then I felt like death, and I was really not happy. And the one day I'd have off, we'd always go and see her dad, and her dad used to really make me feel sick, because we'd go and sit and have a chat, and he'd want to have a beer, so I'd have a beer with him. But he was like a prisoner of war, so all he'd want to talk about is how he was in the prison and what he did in the prison, and I'd have to listen to the whole thing, and he'd interrupt you if you try to change the subject or you try to talk over him, and he would just talk like that for like an hour or two, and then I'd leave just horrified, and my girlfriend wouldn't realise how much damage that did. And then on top of that, when we did go on holidays, we went to Carnarvon and a few different places, and she was like, "Oh, let's just go and have an unplanned holiday." And I think my boss gave me two RDOs, because as much as he liked to piss me off, he knew he needed me. And so I had about 9 days off, but our holiday only lasted about 4 days, because I told her I want to go back home, because every day we'd go somewhere and it was beautiful, and we'd set up a tent. And then she was so excited that we're on holiday that she kept trying to get us to go to new places. But at one stage, we drove all the way to Denham from Perth, and because it was public holidays too, there was nowhere to actually even prop a tent up. Even the overflow was full. So we had to drive another 2 hours back, and there's just one little place in the middle of nowhere that we could stay. And you had to pay whatever rate they had, because it was there was nowhere else. And we were just in this little, we took her car, which is this little cult thing, and it was it was crazy. But yeah, she was the love of my life. But after that holiday, we sort of broke up, and we never ended up getting back together. So, and she was a much better partner than the narcissist was. She wasn't always saying I'm fat, I'm this or that. When I was overweight, when I first met her, she actually got my weight back down really quickly, because she cooked Vietnamese food, but it was all healthy stuff. My narcissistic ex-partner didn't know the meaning of the word healthy, and all her food's full of oil, and it's just gross compared. And this girl, she was just something else. My whole family loved her. Not only did my mum love her, but my sister loved her too, and my sister hated all my girlfriends too. She's like, "You should just dump her." Nah. But with Alice, it was different, and I really fumbled her. And when I look back, I think she was the closest thing to a kingdom spouse. She was always trying to make you feel good, and she would compliment you everything you did. Anywhere you went, she was walking beside you, not behind you, not in front of you. And she was just beautiful. There's no other way to say it. She didn't have a massive group of friends. On her Facebook account, there was less than 60 people. It was, for a girl, that's really amazing, because most girls have at least 1,000 on there. And, it's hard to trust a woman that cheats on you and that has all these friends at a surface level. When they're trying to impress every guy they go past, they're not a good girl. But with Alice, she only cared for me and her family. And I really regret breaking up with her, because she was on a different level, and it's good to have these experiences of what I went through. The narcissist has made me a lot stronger, and it's also taught me the value of the right people in your life. And if you're going through narcissistic abuse, whether it's male or female that's doing it to you, and whether you're a male or female, just remember there's better people out there. And since leaving the narcissist, I've lost 22 kilos. I'm looking heaps fitter. I'm actually looking younger. And I left her 3 months ago, and I looked like I was about to die then. So, amazing what one change in your life can do, just getting that one bad egg out of your life. Because when someone's part of your family, and you make them your family, and they treat you like you're nothing, that's not the person for you, And it's not hard to figure out. And these stupid, angry birds, these backwards walking giraffes, they regret it at the end of the day, because they realise you're the only good person that stand tall with them. Because nobody wants a 40-ish year-old whore in their life. When a woman's been through a bunch of different guys, their body's all busted up. It's a mess. Why would you go for a 40-year-old whore when you could have a 20-year-old one? You know? And not to be nasty or anything, but narcissists are not good in bed. And I'm not saying that to be mean. It's because they don't have any emotion that goes into it. Like, sex should be passionate. It should be about love. And they don't have any of that. All they have is a few little tricks that they picked up through all their encounters, and they get old quickly, you know. It ends up being a chore when you have sex with them, because it's like, the same 3 or 4 moves, hey, you know. Like, they don't put any effort in at all. They think like it's work to them. It's like, oh, you should feel lucky that you're getting it at all. You know, when I was with Alice, I'd get it every day, and it wouldn't matter if we'd had an argument or whether we were in good standing with each other. She didn't care. She's like, well, you're my partner, I love you, and I want to treat you right, you know. And that's a rare thing to find. And if you've got a girl like that, no matter what you're going through, just hold on, you know. My last boss that I had, that was a devil worshipping Freemason, he only had one bit of good advice, which was, if you're doing it wrong, it'll be hard if you're doing it wrong. It'll be right if it's easy. You're doing it right. So, in saying that, when you get a partner, if they're hard work, if it feels like a struggle in the hard times, then they're wrong for you. If you got a good partner, even when you're going through the hard times, it'll seem easier, because they'll be supporting you in everything you do. So, yeah, God bless all of you, and remember, Jesus Christ loves you. And I hope all of you that are going through struggles with narcissism, or you've had bad breakups and that, just remember, God has a kingdom spouse for you, whether you're a Christian or not. If you're a good person, God will still try and find you a good person in your life, because he still loves you, even if you haven't accepted him into your heart. So, yeah, I hope you do that too. I hope you accept Jesus into your heart, because there's nothing better than having peace in your life. And, yeah, just continue running your race and try to enjoy the time you have on this planet, because this all comes to an end one day, and we're in the end times, you know. Like, things are just getting darker and darker. People are getting more selfish every day. Yeah, God bless all of you, and have a lovely day. So I had one little bit left of my story with Alice and her sister Fung. The funniest thing about where I worked at, which was at the markets, fruit and veg, and that, my boss Nobs was just like always trying to dress people down, which meant, like, he was a narcissist. He just wanted to get on top of people and make them feel like they're nothing, even though he really needed them. And I figured out early that he needed me, so I wasn't having any of it. And I remember, like, I never took a day off ever, and I'd been there for about 13, 14 months. It was getting close to my holidays, but I still had a few months before me and Alice went away. And she'd always joked, my sister Fung's a doctor, she'll write you a doctor's note. And I remember we did it one day, and I only took, like, I think it was 2, maybe 3 days off, and they had no one else to cover. Like, they actually gave me this Vietnamese guy, Kenny, and they used to call him Kenny Cowbung, and I don't know what that meant, but anyway, this guy was a real sleaze with all the Asian women, this Vietnamese guy. He's nearly 50, and he's like, oh, I used to work in trade, so I know how to speak Mandarin, Cantonese, Vietnamese. So he was talking to all the young Asian girls whenever he could instead of doing his work. And he was always getting orders mixed up because he just didn't really care, you know. And I'm like, where did they get this guy from? And so that's all they had to do the work. And he couldn't keep up. Like, there's one stage he got a pallet of avocados off the truck, and they started turning as he's pulling them off, which means in the middle they start twisting, and he lost like half a pallet of avocados onto the floor. Like, we still got them and graded them and made some money off them, but we lost a lot of money too, because they, once they hit the ground, they're bruised, and these were premiums. They were like top dollar. And even bananas, like, you'd be putting them in the fridge and there's like an inch either side to get them in, and you've got to look the whole time, because if they clip, and if one carton moves, you stop, because if it goes too far and it hits the ground, they're split, they're no good, and when one falls, you're bound to have more fall. And I had like almost like a 100% success rate. I never really busted any bananas. And so I took these couple of days off, and I remember my boss seeing the doctor's note when I came in, and he was trying to tear me down. He's like, "Oh, a foot doctor?" And then he's looking at the avocado salesman who was his mate, who was always also a bit of an narc, and he's like, "He went to a foot doctor about his back. Oh, I think she's Vietnamese." Like, because he knew my partner was Vietnamese, so I think he can put two and two together. He's just like, oh, but he couldn't do anything about it either. It was the funniest thing. Anyway, have a lovely day, brothers and sisters.